Hello guys, I'm just going to go on a small rant and pardon any chewing on camera. I'm kind of stuffing my face with food as I'm talking. Not a smart thing, kids, don't try this at home. So basically, story time. We were talking about various things, and I was talking about how people aggravate me, and that there are very few people on the server that aggravate me. And then it got me thinking about how last year when the moderator Sensations was still around, Sen and I basically joined the same day, or the Sen made a new account the same day that I joined, and we basically leapfrogged off of each other to jump up through the ranks to get to where we were. So basically, he got helper before me, I then joined, then got junior mod before him, and we were literally leapfrogging each other over each other in the rankings, up until I got global mod, and then I think at that point he basically retired for a while, and then came back, and then retired, blah blah blah. So at one point he came back, and so a lot of the staff members are white, and this is going to be a partially racist thing, and I don't mean to be racist, and we were joking around at the time, and Sen got all bent out of shape, and we severely apologized for a very long time, for at least a few months after that. So basically, in the staff chat, we were dropping random meme images to each other because that's what we do. We spam each other with memes. We argue with each other in German and Russian, and then shout 9 about a bajillion times at various things. And we were just having a good old time like usual. And then Not Possible and I, being the horrible people that we are, started dropping random racist memes that we were finding on the internet, forgetting that Sen was around and in the call with us and in the chat with us and reading everything we were posting. And he got really bent out of shape. And he kept trying to ask Hai to settle everything down because Hai, being the founder and all that, being the dude with all the power, he figured out he could probably settle it down. And Hai at the time was in the call with us. Sen wasn't in the call because he didn't have a headset, and also because whenever Sen's in the call, his family in the background is like shouting their heads off about something. Not in like an angry fashion, just shouting and being loud. And so he normally leaves the call because we can't stand it. So basically, Sen wasn't in the call, but the rest of us were in the call. Hai was laughing his ass off with us, and Sen didn't realize that. So he kept telling Hai to try to calm everything down. And Hai, at the time, being the totally anonymous voice that very few of us had ever heard for a long time period, kind of piped up, and then we immediately heard him laughing his ass off, and the reaction that he had, literally from this day forward, Hai is a major savage, and a lot of the people on the forums don't realize this, but he is a total savage. And Hai's immediate reaction was basically agreeing with all the shit that all the bad racist shit that we had been saying. I posted a meme of his own, and Sen just lost it, flipped his shit, his lid blew off. He literally gave a warning to every person in the staff chat on the forums, including Hai. He warned the founder on the forums twice because of that. So the only way Hai could go to fix that, because he had never thought anybody would give him a warning or any of the staff members a warning that they would have to remove, he had to go into the database and specifically program in a thing to change our warning system. So a lot of the staff members would have a -1 on their warnings, and that is because the program is not meant, like the forums were not programmed to remove warnings. So when Hai removes it, it doesn't set them back to 0, it sets them back to -1. I think mine is at 0 because I was being mean and an idiot, but Sen and I got along, and so he knows I'm full of bullshit and crap, and I like to dish out shit, so I have fun like that. That's just how I am. And he didn't give me a warning, so I still have 0 warnings or something like that. But yeah, it was a good time. So that's just what popped into my head, and whenever Sen comes around, there's an inside joke that the staff members have, and we constantly bring it up, and it constantly ticks him off. In a good way, but it still ticks him off, and once again, Sen, I know you're not going to be listening to this, but I'm sorry for what happened that day. What we did was not right, in any way, shape, or form. But I mean, hey, a lot of us got to hear Hai's voice for like the first time ever. Ugh, that was fun, but bad, but fun. Anyway, okay, another small rant story thing. Nairo. Originally, when I first joined the staff team, when Sen and I first joined the staff team, we were constantly talking to Nairo about various things because at that time I had never met Hai. This is going to be giving away a lot of answers for the questionnaire that I created because I'm going to be talking about basically how I met the staff members. When I joined the forums and joined our TMG tool, I was this new kid that really didn't know what he was doing. I knew very little. I knew a decent bit about Realm because I've been playing basically since it came out. But I had never coded before, never sprited, never done anything like that. Basically, the way I became known was that Nairo was hosting a summer event thing that he wanted to create. Like, he wanted to create a summer event, but he needed spriters for tons of items because he didn't have anything done and he wanted to get stuff done. And nobody applied but me. And basically, I sprited, I think it was 120 items in a period of about 4 days. Just like when I got home from school, I would sit down in my chair in my living room and I would just sprite on my laptop for hours. And so there was a shit ton of stuff there. And then eventually Silverset somehow found out the tag and started spreading stuff, and then Nairo got pissed at him because he was just being a dick. And so eventually he got banned. Anyway, so that's how I got into cahoots with the staff members and how Nairo earned my trust and knew that I was good at what I did, basically. And so when I joined, or at least when I applied for helper, nobody was really getting like any upvotes from any of the staff or anything, and then I posted mine. And literally 2 minutes after I posted it, Nairo was like, I want this guy on the staff team, he's good, I know what he can do.
Dang.
And it was like, cool. And so a few days later, Sen joined, because he and I were like the two helpers that were selected that time. And so we were talking to Nairo, and we were like trying to like get information about Hai from him because we didn't know anything about Hai, and we wanted to learn stuff about him because he was this enigma that nobody had ever like really seen or heard from. And so the first thing that Sen asked was, does Hai have this like crazy like hyperactive voice, or does he have the bedtime story voice? And I don't want to have to explain that because I'm pretty sure everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say bedtime story voice. It's that voice that when it reads a book to you can put you to sleep. And Nairo sits on it for like 15 minutes and then gets back to us and says, he has a bedtime story voice, but like the most British bedtime story voice you will ever hear. Keep in mind, guys, Hai is British. It says everything's based in London. I actually know the truth. That's where it's based off. It's not London. It's in a similar area. Basically, he has a very strong how do I explain this in layman's terms for people that aren't from Britain? He just has imagine like how for Americans we've got like Eastern accents and then Southern accents, and to an Easterner, Southern accents are kind of crazy and out there and we don't really understand them. That's kind of like how Hai's accent is for British people. Like, you can't really understand him. Well, you can understand him. I learned to understand him very quickly because he doesn't actually sound all that different from the accents that I'm used to hearing in Maine. Because, hey, strong Maine accents are interesting, to say the least. But so, then I started talking to Nairo in a Skype call, but his mic was a little bit buggered, and made his voice probably 3 octaves deeper than it actually was. And this wasn't through voice morphing, this was just because the audio receiver was broken in it. And so the first thing I heard was Nairo, who's younger than me by about a year. His voice was deeper than any person's voice that I'd ever heard, and I was a bit intimidated by it and a bit scared off, and I'm like, what do Germans feed their children because your voice is deep as hell and it's terrifying? And he's like, this is not my actual voice, like my mic's broken and it doesn't actually sound that deep to me. And I was like, okay. Fair enough. It was really cool. Like I actually started to record audio messages and sending them to Ancient because it was just amazing. Like I sent them to Sen and I sent them to Ancient because Mira's voice was super deep and it was really cool. It was kind of like if you used a voice morpher and set it to like the demon voice or whatever. It was kind of like that. And so we talked to Nairo and then ended that call. And a few days later, Nairo's like, "Oh, I got a new mic. Call me. I want you to hear what my voice actually sounds like." And I'm like, "Cool." And no, it sounds like a basic German accent. And I was like, "Okay, that's cool. Not as much fun as the demon accent because that was really cool, but also kind of terrifying." And then the next thing I know, we get a message from Hi saying I need to talk to everybody, and he calls the staff chat, and everybody picks up, except for Hi, who then picks up 5 minutes later after we've already started talking, and he was typing in chat, and we're like, "What? Who is this? Like, what is this voice that we hear that is super British as fuck?" And yeah, that's the first time I heard Hi's voice. Was an interesting experience, and I'm never going to forget that. Also, that one time, and what you're saying something.
I was gonna interrupt here a little bit and say, judging from your story, it makes me want to hear Hi's voice now.
If I hear it again, like if I get to a chat with him when he's around, I will record it and I will send you an audio message.
Let's hope he doesn't see this video.
He probably won't. Anyway, so basically, I lost my train of thought. Shit. Let's see if I can remember what I was gonna say.
Alright, so you were done talking about
Hi started talking. We were like, what is this? This is like not a voice. And like literally the only person that had ever heard Hi's voice was Nairo. Like, Not Possible had been there longer than anybody else in the Skype call, in the staff chat. Blah, blah, blah. And he hadn't even heard Hi's voice. So even to him, it was a surprise. And so, basically, we're at the point now where we're all like, all the people on the like server and stuff will like hop online, and if Hi's ever online, everyone's like, "Cool, whoa, it's the founder." And all the staff members are like, "Oh my god, hi, you're online. Like, we get super psyched when he's online. And like all the people normally are like, "Yeah, okay, cool, the founder's online." And we get super psyched up like little kids in a candy shop when he's online. Because we're super happy that he's back. Because we can't really do anything without him. Since he doesn't give anybody database access. Anyway. But yeah, no, we can't really do anything without him. Hi is literally the caretaker of the server, and he does a damn good job of it. He is the caretaker, and we are the people that are being taken care of. Like, you would think that the staff members overlook everything, because we kind of do. We have a little bit of power there. But to be completely honest, Hi takes care of the staff members. Because, let me tell you, it's hella stressful looking over you guys. Like, hella stressful.
That's surprising.
Yeah. There are too many people that have done stupid things in the forums that the moderators have had to quickly delete and take down. Like, there's a guy in the ban list, Ninja Spy Ma 1. There's a running joke that, "Oh yeah, let's add him to the staff team." Like, whenever we're like, "Who should we add as a helper?" Whatever, like, Ninja Spy. And it's just a running joke we have because he's ridiculous. He tried to get into the YouTube team, tried to get into the staff team, tried to get into the help team, like, all within, like, the first 5 minutes of being on the forums. And basically, somehow, got somebody on, I think it was Ao Wong, on Skype, and then tracked Ao Wong's IP using a method that I know of that I'm not going to talk about because I don't want people tracking other people's IPs from Skype. It's not cool.
That's good.
Even though I've done it to Vinyl multiple times to freak him out. Anyway, I mean, that's actually kind of how Vinyl and I met. But that's the next story I'll go over. So basically, he tracked Ao Wong's IP and like wrote it down, and then tracked down, somehow found Al Wong's contact list, tracked down Hai, Iero, Ancient, Sen. Didn't track down me because he didn't know I existed. Which was fine by me because anyway, he wouldn't have been able to since I have everything set on my computer to block stuff. I've even changed files on my computer so that it doesn't project its IP. Because the system IP is different than the local IP. But anyway, that's technical stuff that I don't need to get into. But so he didn't find my stuff, and he literally posted that to the forums, like the IPs and the locations and the whereabouts of every staff member on the team except for me. And we, like, literally flipped shit. The first thing we did was, like, about 6 different staff members who jumped onto that forum to try to delete it all at once. So literally every single, like, I think there were 6 6 things about it, like people saying, like, oh my god, this shit's gonna get you banned or whatever. There were like 6 total topic posts, and they all said, okay, who's taking which one, and they all deleted them like the exact same time. And at that point, we were in a Skype call, and Hai wasn't talking, but he had his mic on, and he has a mechanical keyboard, or a keyboard that makes a lot of noise when you're frantically typing. And all of a sudden, the next thing you hear is across the keyboard, as I'm pretty sure he was running through the database and just deleting everything that had to do with Ninja Spy.
Alright.
But it turns out half the staff members have dynamic IPs anyways, so what he found out really didn't work. So yeah.
But through a lot of people, somebody finding your IP address is pretty scary. Because, well...
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Come to where you live?
Oh, I found his username on the forum.
I mean, I don't know how it is for people that live in other countries that aren't America, but where I live, I sleep with a 9-inch K-bar next to my pillow, and there are guns in my house. If somebody tries to break in, they're not getting anywhere without a fight. So it doesn't really bother me if people know where I live, because I don't give a shit. I live in a tourist trap. Our population booms from 10,000 to 3 million in the summertime, so...
Right.
Either way. Story for another time. Basically, how Vinyl and I met. Vinyl being another YouTuber, he's part of the staff team now. He's one of the helpers or mods or... No, he's a helper now. I may have just revealed something that isn't gonna happen for another 2 weeks.
Alright.
So, anyway, don't tell anybody I said... Oh wait, this is a video, shit. Anyway, so the way Vinyl and I met, we were in...
We could do this another time, you know.
I was in a group chat. Oh, I've already started, so I might as well finish this.
Alright.
I was in a group chat with Ancient and Vinyl and a few other people, and we were playing some game online. I don't think it was Cards Against Humanity. I don't think I had started that group yet. But we were doing something, and I started talking to Vinyl. And Vinyl was at a friend's house at the time, because we started talking, and I was like, how is he doing? He was doing good. He was at a friend's house, hanging out. And me being the hacker that I am, the limited hacker that I am, I quickly found Vinyl's IP and sent it to him. But he was at his friend's house, and it was tracking the IP that the computer was broadcasting. So at first we thought it was his friend's house IP, but it wasn't. It was actually his IP, like the IP to his house, because it had locked on to the IP that his computer system put out, and then had routed it to the most common IP that it hooked up to. And so I had basically found his location when he wasn't home using his computer. And that's basically how we met and how we started talking, is because I found his IP and sent him a picture, and he's like, oh shit, that's where I live. But yeah. Good times. Vinyl and I get along well, guys. This isn't like me saying, oh, we're now like sworn enemies or whatever. Vinyl and I get along really well, and we screw around just like every other staff member. Because as serious as we are, we're all literally just a bunch of teenage kids. With the exception of me and Hai. That's about it. We're all teenage kids. Everybody's younger than me. It's so weird.
Alright.
Like, even Hai himself isn't that old. He's only 6 years older than I am, so...
Alright, let's not disclose any ages.
I'm not disclosing ages, I'm just saying that he's 6 years older than I am.
Alright.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, being said, we're not old. We're still a bunch of kids, which is surprising how we run a server. And that's where I'm gonna stop talking about stories and stuff.
Alright,
because
guys.
I get carried away.
Alright, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please do check out my channel. Void, do you want me to put your channel in the description below?
I don't have a channel that I post videos to. It's just like literally my YouTube like user thing that I don't post videos to, so it's not even gonna bother with that. Plus, the link to my channel is linked to my Facebook, my Skype, my Discord, and everything else that I use online. So yeah, don't post that link.
Alright. Hope you guys like it.